book for today's discussion would be the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. Introduction from all the guests.
Hello everyone, my name is Tripti Garg and I am working in Microsoft as a Azure network engineer.
Myself, Rajiv, and I am a regular part of these meetings which are there.
Mr. Naval Ravikant is an investor, an entrepreneur, and he's the founder of AngelList, and he's also an angel investor in Twitter, Uber, Yammer, and 100 more startup organizations. Let me introduce you all with the speaker of our day, Toastmaster Hitesh. Hitesh would be the main speaker who would be giving us the brief summary of the book. Over to you, Hitesh.
I am a very big fan of surfing videos on YouTube. And when I see the most watched videos which has views in millions, those are the kind of videos which says how to be rich, how to be wealthy, how to earn money in 5 minutes. Well, I just want to ask you a question. How many of you have heard of this term called multi-level marketing or network marketing? Some of the people are shy. I don't want to even get into that. That is so stupid. But okay. I appreciate the courage who raised their hands. How many of you would be courageous enough to say if they have ever been trapped into any of such meetings? Those people will know there are some Prashant sir and there are some Ajay sirs in the meetings who will always come up to the stage and say, wow, you are going to buy a Mercedes in the next 6 months. People, this reminds me of a quote, and which says there is no quick rich scheme. And this is the quote from the book, The Almanack of Naval Ravikant. He born and brought up in Delhi till he was 9. Then his family shifted to USA, and the life of an immigrant in USA is pathetic because debt, expenses, jobs and stuff. But then he managed to get into a very good school and subsequently in Ivy League college. He learned computer science and economics. He went to Silicon Valley, worked with a bunch of companies, built a bunch of companies, became investor. And he's currently has invested in more than 200 companies and guiding a bunch of other companies as well. He has multiple interests. Not recently, but in 2014, when people might not have much idea about cryptocurrency, he started a company, a venture in cryptocurrency as well. And after a while, I guess in 2016 or so, he thought of sharing his wisdom with people. But how do we do? Does he write this book? No, he didn't. He started posting his ideas, his knowledge in a compact form in 180 characters on Twitter. And he started with this title called How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky. Those wisdom went viral. There were several tweets and people were started talking about it. And he has now 1.8 million followers on Twitter. And that's when people started interviewing him. He started doing podcasts with anchors and reporters, and those are getting posted on different podcasting platforms and YouTube. And people started watching it and people started talking about it. And that's when this guy, Eric, and his team gathered everything, structured everything, and put everything into this book called The Almanack of Naval Ravikant. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to share exactly what I have personally learned from the book. All right. So people, this book is mainly divided into 2 parts. One is about wealth and one is about happiness. Starting with wealth part, because that's what we are here for, right? What Naval says is money is not wealth. Money is how you transfer your wealth and time. So first question is how to be wealthy. And what I learned is one of the tweets which says, learn to build and learn to sell. When we say learn to build any product, any service, anything that society wants, the society might know that they want it, they might not, but they want. You have to identify it and you have to give it to them. How to start about it? Just explore. You don't know what you are good at. You don't know what are your likes and dislikes until and unless you try. Just experiment new things. Take it, experiment it, live it, read, do stuff, experiment yourself in different professions. And eventually you will realize that, okay, this is what I'm good at. Second thing he said is about curiosity. Develop curiosity. He says about reading book. Now, don't read for motivation. Don't read for self-development. Read for curiosity. Read for sheer interest of knowing something. Read for sheer interest of finding some answers that you have in mind. Next thing he talks about is leverage in this book. Now, leverage comes in four forms, which he says: capital, labor. Those are the traditional form of leverage, which still works. If you have money, you invest in some business, you invest, you buy some equity, and it will eventually grow, which works. But if you don't have capital, what to do? There's labor. You employ some people, you develop some stuff, use those laborers, and build your company, do something with it, sell it. You have a commission, you have a leverage. But again, labor is like a very, very traditional, which in today's world might not work that good. He says in today's world, we have the wonderful opportunity, wonderful leverages, which are called permission-less leverage. And those are two. One is media, second is code. Just shoot a video, put it on social media, and it is available to everyone. If you are good, people will find it, people will find value in it, and you will be rewarded for the value that you have provided to your audience. And that's the power of media. That's the leverage of media. Second, about code. He said, coding is the most essential skill that if one has, you can be wealthy in no time. But that is a different skill, and you know how it works in IT. IT is booming, and you know how people are taking jumps and getting all salaries. They are building their own software and they sell it. And Apple, Microsoft, and other companies are best example of it. Write books, write blogs, and those are the form of media which can help you grow and have that leverage. So that is about leverage. If it is taught in university, you can be replaced. And fundamental is very simple. If there is some course, say civil engineering or say BBA in a college, because industry need thousands of those professionals in the industry, and that's why they have created a machine which can produce those people. But if you have that traditional degree, you can be replaced very easily. You don't have any leverage to negotiate even your salary or your position. But building a specific knowledge is where you win. What is building a specific knowledge? As he said, try out new things and you will come up with 2 to 3 things which you are good at. Now develop skills around it. And combination of 2 to 3 of those skills will have will be called as a specific knowledge, specific skill set, which one of the industries need it. And there are not many people who possess those combination of skills. For example, a doctor who knows the law, which is a very rare combination. But in terms of medical councils and where the drug is being approved, you can imagine the kind of reward that the person who is having the knowledge of law and the medical science knowledge might be getting. Yeah, there's this another section which called under the wealth called developing judgment. If you are working under a goldsmith or under a goldsmith factory, you just have to judge whether this gold is pure or it is not at all a gold, and you will be just paid for that, and that will be a hefty money because your judgment means a huge value. This was just for the example. It has a different context in different professions, but developing judgment and making using that judgment as a leverage to the profession will earn you hefty money. About he talks about decision, like one should be able to make a clear decision. One should be able to envisage everything crystal clear in black and white, and that's how he will able to act in a very clear and concise way. There is this very good thing which says that if you can't decide, the answer is no. Should I get married? I don't know. Answer is no. Should I buy this house? Answer is, if I'm ambiguous, the answer is no. Should I be in this business? I don't know whether. Answer is no. So the list of things which has no answer or ambiguous thoughts, answer is no. And that's when you save your time, because time is very, very important. We all know that we have a limited time on this planet Earth, and still we act like as if we have unlimited time. And that's when he said, when I first started, he talked about money is not wealth, and he said money is how you transfer wealth and time. And now it makes sense that yes, you have a very limited time, and so when you put yourself on an hourly rate, and if something you do which is less than your hourly rate, you should delegate it to someone, and you should focus on something very important, something worthy of your time. He talked about building a mental model. Mental model is something which is like his tweets. Each tweet you can consider as it is a mental model. Like if you can't judge, the answer is no. If you can't decide, the answer is no. That is a mental model. So how do you develop such mental models? And that's when he said that start reading. About reading section, he talked a very important thing which says that read fundamentals. If you want to learn about evolution, read a book by the fundamental evolutionary. If you want to read about the human history, read Sapiens and stuff like that. So guys, the thing is, read wisely and read, and that's how you will build wealth. Thank you, and back to you, our wonderful host, Pranav Shin.
Thank you, Ajesh. I think that was one of the best book summaries we had so far. Next on, Toastmaster Sudhir, who will be sharing his views on his takeaways from the book.
How we need to think clearly about this thing. Whenever we are doing something, we have to lessen our ego. This book is like, this is the question, how you have to solve this, this is the answer.
Next on, we have Toastmaster Dolly, who will be sharing her views, her takeaways from the book.
Naval has mentioned that happiness is also like a skill. We can build on that skill and it can be learned. We need to accept the situation. Either we can accept or we can change or we can learn from it. Sometimes good things do not happen with us and we just are like distressed. And we think that we have lost everything and we have become unhappy. But it is not the case. There is always either we learn or we win. I mean, one cannot have money, health, and time. If you are young, so he explained, if you are young, old, and in various situations, you cannot have all the three things together. So one is always missing.
He says that it's not the doctors who will make us healthy. It's not our teachers who will make us smart. It's not our mentors who will make us rich. And it's not our trainers who will make us fit. It is us. It is our responsibility to be the best version of ourselves. He broadly talks about six aspects we need to have in our mind. It is choosing to be ourselves, choosing to take care of ourselves, the meditation and the mental strength, choosing to build ourselves, choosing to grow ourselves, and choosing to free ourselves. I'm sure when you read the complete book, it will make complete sense to you.